we are here on a wonderful module called reading. I know the module is not wonderful though. A lot of you think, oh my God, the most difficult module in IELTS to comprehend. Believe me, it is the most interesting one, and if you manage it cunningly, I should use the word cunningly, you might have a lot of content for your writing. Because in IELTS examination, it is like listening, then we have got a reading, then we have got your writing, then followed by speaking, okay? Now, when we are going with the reading module, most of us, they get petrified, they get terrified, I should rather say, but don't worry about this. Now, in IELTS reading, if I talk about it, let me categorize that reading passages, there would be 3 passages, and the timing would be 60 minutes, remember that, 60 minutes, or we call it 1 hour, and we have got 40 wonderful different types of questions to answer. So there are a lot many questions, like we have got list of heading, we have got match the following, we have got gap filling, which we call it fill in the blanks, there is a summarize of the passage, and then we have got sentence completion. So here I'm going to talk about a part of it, which we call it list of heading and sentence completion. Okay. Now, something the students often ask that when we read a passage, we follow a lot of strategies. Okay. The most important part is they call it that we skim and scan. Now, wow, that's a wonderful one, skimming and scanning. The term they talk about when we skim and scan. What do we mean by the term skimming and scanning? I just go through it and pick up the correct words. I can do it. It's an amazing strategy. Believe me, if I am, mark my word, if I am an avid reader, if I am reading every day something or the other, I can do it easily. Number 1. Second, when I'm talking about what other strategies I'll get, I would look up for the keywords and try to figure out the closest synonyms to it. I can do it. Fine, there is no problem to it. But these days, I guess IELTS is just become a bit intelligent. I should say like that, because they are now trying to figure out the real skills of the test takers. Now, how it is being done? They would force the test takers that you should read every day something or the other, because the passages will be from anywhere. I should use the word anywhere under the sun. Believe, mark my word. I can have 3 different types of passages, be it your general reading or be it your academic reading. Passages are of dimensionless. What do you mean by the dimension? When it comes to theme, the thematic perspective of any passage would be of anything. Some students say that, ma'am, the first passage was quite informative, I could figure it out. Second passage was easy, but third was so difficult. Why the question of difficulty arises? Because when we restrict ourselves or limit ourselves to certain area that I'll only practice from this kind of thing, when the third passage comes, I'm not going to do it. So there arises a problem of segregation or discrimination. Look, the best part, I would suggest that when you are planning to write IELTS or to do IELTS, you should pick up anything and start just read. But yeah, mark my word, the reading should be very conclusive. The reading should be very substantial. It should have a substance when you're reading. I just can't have just those kind of pages, though I don't want to mention here. Anything that comes my way, I would not read. I need to read to gather information to knowledge, because remember, if everything comes in an order, I read, I need to have information to understand, I can utilize it in my writing and speaking. So we have to understand reading in IELTS is an important module that opens 2 windows for us, to gather information, to utilize that information for my writing as well as for my speaking. Here in Career Line, we follow absolutely that approach when it comes to reading. We don't do reading in a segregation. We try to connect it. Now, what are the areas we need to be careful when it comes to reading? They say that we have got a signpost words. So they would be using however, moreover, and so many things they will talk about. But I would also say, please pay attention to punctuation as well. They speak a lot. They are self-explanatory in themselves, because whenever there is a comma, it means something else. Whenever there is a semicolon, it becomes something else. When it becomes a colon, the meaning changes. So I have to understand, I have to respect those punctuations as well when I read. So if my reading is improved, automatically my writing will improve. Okay, so within this short span of time, there is a lot more thing that has been done in the class extensively. It is not that can be explained within these short videos or strategies and tips. Believe me, I believe that strategies and tips is always individual centric. The way I read a passage, I can be flexible in adopting the things which I coin. So when we have a generalized that in IELTS reading, you find on on internet different sites, skimming and scanning, read the first line. I don't believe in this kind of cliched process, because the way you read, if there are 10 test takers, 10 test takers need to adopt 10 different methods or the measures or the tools that would be suitable to them. Okay, thank you so much. Please log into our channel or subscribe to our YouTube channels and visit our Facebook on a regular basis. Thank you so much.